they are quoting to see if what is in their Hebrew Bible is different from this current Bible. And again, there were tribes or groups among the Hebrew Bible from Fido, Edra. Hi, Wake Up Africa. Tell us the truth. I like your preaching. Shalom, shalom. Good afternoon, Hebrew teachers. Is it Rafiu from Edra? After this program, I want you to discuss who are the Israelites and where are they now. Please, this is popular request. Anti baby on the any gu so aye and nti enwie no na mo ho me fa messages ni ensia na memra of a 20 minutes eda wanim aye odia.
Obi say you quote from your Hebrew Bible.
Meaning say
you can Hebrew for the true Bible no. Na sania ensemfua baby aye pick aye huhu baby ya kwa dura ya hwehwe book no nye Christopher book
dabi
ewowura ni wurafo na aba ya kire nkofo wo mu ye Hebrew fo a ya hwehwe wo mu
kamne Bible na kire no Bible kra ya kan free
enti eno
enti Bible na open no we mu ne kan di free enti biza wo se ye ode ni bidia ya ti ase okay
Heritage Bible ya me to aso dia amamra to so mienu circumcision of the male child. You better ketia.
Ayeka.
Eno so ye nhye obo ade mra and a catchy. Genesis 17:9 to 14.
Genesis chapter 17. Genesis chapter 17
verses 9 to 14.
Obi say your man make kan twi Bible na mai. Verses 9 to 14. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. Verse 12. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with the money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. Media see 12 also
14.
Okay. He that is born 14. Okay, 14 and 14 13 am DC. Okay, he that is born in the house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Verse 14. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He had broken my covenant.
This you try to chat here there. That's how we are taught.
Chat traffic and assembly hunting am na mesresre.
Leviticus 12:3. Leviticus
chapter
12
verse 3. Leviticus chapter 12. 12 verse 3. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall then continue in the blood
into the 8th day.
Yes.
So called Luke 2:21-22. Sana Yeshua. Yeah, no, we say yeah, no cranny be. And a copy basis of Timmy Dinner, so the New Testament.
Luke chapter
2.
Luke chapter 2. Verse number
21-22. And when the 8 days.
And when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcision of the child, his name was called Jesus, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. 22.
22 also.
And when the days of purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord.
And Yeshua Mami, or to go through, and also can a mamre no and Shenubi.
Yes.
After Yanko Hebrewisms in West Africa, book.
Okay.
Page 15.
Katafa Edu Enum, page 15.
Page 15.
Top mark, middle or down?
Top noir to a Hong Kong.
Until from here to here.
Afi NTA. Yes,
no Krobo man would, at least in the past, give his daughter in marriage to an uncircumcised man.
If you book him,
Huber, the Krobo, traditional, social, and religious life of a West African people, page 96.
Okay, yes, sir.
Circumcision. No Krobo man would at least, in the past, give his daughter in marriage to an uncircumcised man.
Who is right for no? Because the next one.
Ose Krobo, Nibia Niwa, Titibrim se passe, or then Baba Bema Yimpian Pitia. Okay, yeah. Mama Margin call Babo Nedia Kayan so, yeah, to talk but this circumcision is compulsory throughout our land. And also a handbook of our land, volume 1, the Hours of Southeastern Ghana, edited by Francis Agbedeka, page 6 in a country here. And so the all kind of say, Kitcha, a yen she, a war, I wanna assassin, and I wanna my move.
Send a yen she.
Yes.
Moses ran a 30.
Much importance is attached to the customary law that every male Krobo must be circumcised. This is taken as a sacred and ancient rule of all the Andami tribes sanctioned by the gods. In fact, most of the deities which appear to be truly native, particularly the renowned Nadu and Nana Klowiki of Menya Krobo, have among their taboos the strict ritual prohibition that no uncircumcised male person may enter the sacred precincts. According to the common view, no such person could call himself a true Krobo. Hugo Huber, the Krobo, traditional, social, and religious life of a West African people, page 154, Nico 23. What was what? Also, the idea of God, Hebraic origin, is further illustrated by ritual practices. The example of circumcision is well known. Males born of Jews and of the Ga must be circumcised, and it is an obligatory criterion of a Jew and a Ga. An uncircumcised person would not be allowed to enter the courtyard of a Ga, Wolumo, and Wulomo, where the Agba, that's place of worship, is built, or a Jewish tabernacle, nor take any social position under strict Jewish or custom. Wezufu book David K. Henderson Cote, The Ga of Ghana, History and Culture of West African People, page 58. Next point. The significance of circumcision was so great that an Israelite could be cut off from the covenant for disobeying God's law. And it is clear that Zipporah, the Midianite, wife of Moses, saved Moses' life from the wrath of God by performing the circumcision. The practice of circumcision is found throughout Africa, and particularly in West Africa, where Hebraisms are very strong. Exodus 14, 5 to
the baby I had during the
study Bible.
Nature say, Yahu, the basic third one, fourth one, maybe the Bema, and also your topical seclusion of women in their monthly menstrual period.
Okay.
A ma fichi kono, a mamra, and she, our body emra, a 30.
Okay.
Na sakura na suku ebeba me ehunu akenkan no na ye na no mo no o mo nyima fikyiri ko o bo kra na eye ma ye fe ko afikyiri a no ate ne ho mpa ne ho asem na adesua ba ya enwuma nim eba nipa ho
Yesu ni bon ni moja ba pepa bibia
nyane o so oba ade say ye
yes
ntimi nyane emfiri ho Leviticus 15 19 to 24.
Leviticus chapter 15, 19 to 24. Leviticus 15, 19 to 24. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening. Verse 20. And everything that she laid upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. Verse 21. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bath himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Verse 22. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bath himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sits, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the evening. Verse 24. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean.
Ayan she. Ta obo ade ade aman. Enso ya na ne pese eto e no to twini. Efise e fa ne se e tradition. The traditions dey free nipa. Enye obo ade. Traditions of men. Oh, ya ntwini afi na human rights for aba. Ade ma no, ade na ese ye gi omo fa ahundie. Ade nti na awo sa ate bia nim. Untimi no aduane ma okunu ni. Ade nti na awo te bia saa mu na nipa kwa ye mpese wo so bedi akire nu ababi. Obo ade ese eye nhye. O sa ate bia nim a 7 days. Choho. De obeye bia no. Wo ye ma ho.
Yes.
Aduane ono ama okunu. Bibia bekosu bia ensuo kura na ekurase a ensutene ne nkofo kosa untimi nko ensuo hu nka so kwa akosa bi ohont eso twu now Hebrewisms in West Africa 15 as you dey no ananka o kan na
15 hono. As in many other simple societies, there exist in Ashanti many interesting restrictions and taboos on women who are observing their menstrual periods because they are considered to be unclean. Such women may not cook their husbands or any other adult male's food, nor eat food cooked in a dwelling house for a man. Not long ago, a menstruating woman stayed in a hut behind her husband's house, and this practice gave rise to the expression
ko afichire.
Okay. To go behind the house, which even now is used to euphemistically to mean to menstruate. In the olden days, if a woman had entered the ancestral storehouse during her monthly periods, she would have been killed instantly. That's Right Reverend Dr. Peter Sapon, Girls Nobility Right in Ashanti, part at page 42.
16 and so obekan bi
16
free so
these French areas, that is Cloutier, were of importance. Here were built the huts occupied by menstruating women. Menstruation was the center of a complex of beliefs and prohibitions. It was hot and dangerous, and menstruating women were confined to certain locations and excluded from many activities. Menstruation was a prohibition, a chiwadie, to gauze and black stools, and even to some fetishes, that is a suman, and medicines, a drew. It is said that if a menstruating woman entered a storeroom, she was slain, for her state would drive away the spirit sunsum of the ancestors. M.D. MacLeod, the Asante, page 35. The restrictions and taboos on an unclean woman are many and interesting. She may not cook her husband's or any adult male's food, but may cook the food for her own sex or for children of either sex, but may not herself eat food cooked in any dwelling house for any man. In the olden days, if a woman entered, I think I've and only they kind of the same thing, and they kind of hello.
And you know where we are. We bought the top and half media Makoku, last one at and
yes.
Now the woman say, Yaba Betias, yes, menstruation, a tradition.
Yes.
And the encounter was and Kuala Ninia. I will follow a new home combo. And the Aquaran was or Quaco Bisa, Nadam Fubi, Medaniano, dear me fair moon you.
Yes.
No, the Obecano, Wacatren, or a numum no di Barbitriana Monte, Chiran Sana, obit me a bonny mamma, man, say, me prow. Medanian and man who did try me, and a mujeba, and son and mammy actually, woman who said you sit here. Into any prebid were name woman, you say. And I know menstruation. Ababe, I didn't be a my. Ama NGOs, any conformable brave, or my by ye menstrual hygiene management. Any near may be a cake. There's the Omu Canina, as a near or board mandatory and shisheno.
Okay. Assist students schooled on menstrual hygiene management. To complement effort to address challenges girls face in managing their menstruation, Inspired to Rise, a non-governmental organization, has educated 2 schools in the Greater Accra region in menstrual hygiene management. The schools were St. Peter's Anglican School and Adenta Community School. No ma dompe the challenges. Also touching on some of the challenges women and girls go through, she stated that inadequate water, improper sanitation, and lack of hygiene facilities, particularly in public places such as schools, workplaces, and health centers, could pose a major obstacle to women and girls. Ms. Lai said lack of separate toilet with doors that could be safely closed, or the unavailability of means to dispose of use sanitary pads and water to wash hands affected women and girls. She said, and I quote, "The challenge menstruating girls and women face is often less tangible than simply the availability of infrastructure, and it is rooted in social norms and beliefs."
That way.
Over.
The woman say, Dimona. So ba ebuni nsa. Yes, send your scripture na can pepe. We separated from communities activities. Social near be na ekoso kura obi. Class na ekoso a oba obetena abontin. Na dia e ma o dance also the train nipa say tibia we na wo mu. That one more piece of cloth be. Okay, be an kesi etisi. Enti akonwa obetena so no. Or the seso. What is nti wo ba na ho so tibibi so sa. We hu say. Okay. And so okoso no enu eti say anase bibi. If it's on one the car catcher say abasa tibia no. Enti no be so. Sa na school for nkwala no so ye wo class 1 ateno ho akotena baabi kakra ene wo cloth ni bi ene odi aseso ene otiso nti classmate for no nim say once oti bibi so saa no don't worry because oyo no nko a Ghana for nsuan free ho no na ade ba ko ne say the mona for ma aye research ehunu say saa tibia no wo mu a ense so odware utumi clean ho menware body etu no alower body temperature after your skin pores